y'all. Welcome back to another NFR Ultimate Playbook. This is your guide to Las Vegas during the NFR. Today, we're going to be talking about the reason we're here, the rodeo. So this is going to be about where and how to watch the rodeo and some of the nightlife happening during NFR.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one because this is really some of the most fun stuff to do while you're in Las Vegas for the NFR, and we'll get right into it. So if you're going to be there for the rodeo, then you would probably want to actually watch the rodeo.
And maybe even go to the rodeo. So we're going to start right in the Thomas and Mack, where the rodeo is happening. Now, not everybody gets to go every single night. The Thomas and Mack only seats 20,000 or something. And there are hundreds of thousands of fans in town for the rodeo. So if you do want to snag a seat in the Thomas and Mack, you've got to buy tickets, okay? Your tickets are going to come from one of two places that we recommend, legitimate sources like StubHub or NFR ticket exchange booths that are found at many of the shopping centers. So these seats range anywhere from nosebleeds to gold buckle seats. What does that look like?
Well, you can spend however much you want to spend, because if you buy gold buckle seats, you're definitely going to be shelling out the money because people have these as season tickets year after year. So you have to buy them primarily on the secondary market, which means you either have to go to StubHub or, like Rachel said, one of the ticket outlets in the shopping. You can buy your seats there. You can get them for the top second level, which we've done there as well. And it's really based on how much you want to spend, because there will be tickets available for all those ranges. And if you want a seat at the Thomas and Mack, you're probably going to shell out $100 to $1,000, anywhere in that range, depending on where you're sitting. Now, there is a cheaper way to go to the Thomas and Mack and actually be in the building during the rodeo.
Yeah, this is a newer option. We actually did it last year. It's the access-only tickets. They're advertised as just $75. It does get you access to the building, and there are places that you can kind of hang around, grab a seat, maybe stand, watch the rodeo on some screens outside of the arena, and you can kind of catch a glimpse of what's going on in the arena as well.
Yeah, and you'll pop in and out if you want to. Sometimes there's open seats you can snag at the last minute. But there's other stuff going on in there. There's restaurants, there's bars inside the Thomas and Mack, and there's even a Cowboy Channel broadcast where they're covering the pre and post rodeo stuff, and you'll see all that set up in there. That's a pretty fun thing to check out as well, because if you're like us, you're interested in all of the aspects of what's going on around the NFR. But if you're going to go to the Thomas and Mack, be sure to go early.
Yes, absolutely. Get there early. There's a whole fan zone going on outside with lots of title sponsors. They've got giveaways. They've got little shows going on that you can kind of tune into, as well as broadcast stuff going on. Purina's a big one. Heston's there. Ram's there. Who else?
Yeah, they got Polaris. Coors is one of the main sponsors, and the Coors specifically set up is one I would recommend going to, because the Coors banquet tent is a whole party in itself.
Yeah, it goes on before and after the rodeo. They've got a DJ, a dance floor, a bar, a mechanical bull that they actually give you like a t-shirt and a buckle some years, that if you'll go ride it, it's a happening spot, and it's a good place to tune in before and after the rodeo.
Yeah, because you're going to spend a little time after the rodeo getting out. So you might as well let those lines die down, spend some time in the Coors banquet tent, ride the bull, get a t-shirt, have some fun, dance with your lady. The options are endless, really.
Yeah, no doubt. Something else, when Jordan talked about lines dying down, he's talking about the free NFR shuttle lines. So once the rodeo is over, what I like to do, if we're leaving the Thomas and Mack, I'm hopping on that South Point shuttle.
Go to the South Point for a good time.
Yeah, you can totally free shuttle. You're going to go straight into the ballroom to get a spot for the gold buckle ceremony.
Okay, so all the cowboys and cowgirls that win their round in their prospective event will be headed straight to the South Point to get their round win buckles on stage in the ballroom. That's a really fun thing to see. We highly recommend that you get out there at least once to do that, because you're going to get to see them with their whole family. The stock contractor that also their animal won that round, they'll get a buckle as well. It's hosted by Flint Rasmussen and Joe Beaver.
Yeah, two entertaining guys.
Yes, they cut up with the crowd the entire time when the camera's on and when the camera's off. And then once that wraps up, stay put.
Yeah, there's amazing concerts. South Point does a really good job of having multiple artists for multiple nights. So basically you can catch anyone from Chancey Williams, Aaron Watson, Randall King, and more, and it's totally free, you guys. But like Jordan said, it's standing room only. So once you get a spot, you got to kind of stay parked out.
Yeah, you don't want to come out of the ballroom because once it gets up to toward the end of the buckle ceremony, it's at capacity. So it's going to be one in and one out. So you don't want to be the guy that leaves and can't get back in to see the concerts. But the South Point is can't miss with anything you want to do there, whether it be the buckle ceremony, the restaurants, the shopping, the dining. It's all a great time. But if you can't go to the Thomas and Mack and you aren't able to actually get a ticket to the rodeo, there are a ton of other opportunities to really enjoy that performance.
The watch parties, they're happening all over town. They're happening at the various NFR host hotels and more. So we're going to break down some of those happening that we have been to, others that we haven't been to. Let's get into it.
Yeah, so a couple that we're going to mention right off the bat that we have not been to, but they're listed and they're probably going to be pretty fun. We know some people that have went in the past and they enjoyed it. The first one would be Gary LeFew's Buckaroo Ball. That one is going to be downtown Las Vegas at the D Las Vegas. And then just up the Fremont from him would be at the Plaza. That one is the American Hat Company Watch Party hosted by Chris Rankin. Their doors will open at 5. Just like all of these, free admission. They'll all have drink specials. A lot of them will have special guest and door prizes. The American Party is no exception to that. But one that is not downtown, but we would highly recommend checking out.
Absolutely. The Westgate Watch Party. This is going to be hosted by our buddy Skip Ransom. It's going to be in their cabaret ballroom. This one's tons of fun. There's a great crowd. I mean, this one you just can't miss.
Yeah, can't miss. We love all of the people at the Westgate. It
Yes.
just seems like a really down-home feel, but there's tons of people and there's tons of action and tons of fun going on all the time over there.
Yeah, part of that is because a lot of the vendors from Cowboy Christmas stay at the Westgate because it is so close. So it just has, like Jordan said, a really great down-home feel because you're around people that are working in the industry. So it's a really great one to catch.
Yeah, and if you're at Cowboy Christmas throughout the day and you want to grab some food real quick and then be somewhere close by for the watch party, Westgate's going to be a really good option for that because it's going to be right next door to the convention center.
Right. You can just hop on the monorail, one stop over, and you're at the Westgate. You can go straight from shopping to a watch party and camp out all night because it's a good one. And something else that they also host there is the Cowboys and Indians party. That happens one night a year. That's always a really fun one to catch. So make sure you add that to your schedule if you're in town during that time.
Yeah, and then moving on from the Westgate, one of the ones that we've went to every year without fail is the Rodeo Vegas watch party. So if you've listened to our other videos, you heard us talk about how they moved from the Mirage to Rodeo or to Resorts World.
Right.
And this year they'll be there again, but they've got a new venue inside Resorts World. This year they'll be in the Zouk nightclub, which is going to be really cool because this will be the first time that I've actually seen one of the watch parties be in a nightclub setting.
They've actually got booths that you can RSVP for now for the watch party. So if you're wanting to go to Rodeo Vegas's concerts and things like that, maybe go to the watch party ahead of time, RSVP a booth in the nightclub, settle in and camp out for the night. You know this is going to be a great one. It's going to be hosted by incredible people with incredible guests. It's a party all night long, and you know that the red carpet's going to be rolled out because Teton Ridge is a part of this group, and they always have some of the best of the best.
Yeah, and if you're going to be in Resorts World and you don't want to be in the Zouk nightclub, they do have a second option this year, and that's going to be in their Red Tail Social Lounge. That'll be just down the hallway from where the Zouk nightclub is, so it's not going to be far away from the rest of the crowd. But if you want to go over there and grab a table there, they've got some arcade games. So if you do have kids with you, it's probably going to be a more family-friendly atmosphere for that kind of watch party thing, and they'll enjoy that. We've been in that venue before. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
It's pretty open. It'll be a good spot to check out the rodeo and watch everything going on there.
So one of our absolute favorite watch parties of all time is happening at the hotel that we're staying at this year. It's Rio's Rodeo Roundup.
Yeah, that one is hosted by Matt Merritt, who is one of our Southeastern guys. Shout out to Matt. But Matt has a watch party that we have been to, I think every year we've been at least one time, and no matter what venue he's been in, no matter what the setup has been, it has been by far the most entertaining and most interactive watch party over any of the other ones going on.
Yeah, I mean, Matt just has the best prizes, the best interactive games and things to do and competitions. You just can't beat it. You never know who's going to show up. He always has such cool special guests.
Yeah, last year we had J.B. Mooney. He had Kurt Busch in there, NASCAR guy. So he has people show up just out of the blue to join him because it's so much fun.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, he's going to be one that keeps the crowd engaged. He's going to have games set up that have prizes for them. One of my favorite things he does is hands out paddles and markers to all the crowd. And then as the riders are riding, at the end of the ride, you write down what you think their score is going to be and hold it up. When the judges call out their score, if you match that, you're going to get a prize. So Matt has a really great way of doing this that keeps everybody engaged, whether you're a brand new fan to rodeo or whether you've been watching it for 75 years. You will have fun at Matt Merritt's watch party at the Rio.
Oh, yeah, and the prizes are always things you actually want, like anything from beef jerky to a free pair of boots. We've won many a beef jerky.
Yes.
But one of our friends brought her boyfriend who had never seen rodeo before. Lucky guy, got to go to the NFR for his first rodeo, but he actually won his first pair of boots at Matt's watch party. So it's just such a cool environment, whether you're new to rodeo or a seasoned fan. Matt's is when you're going to find yourself having a good time at no matter what.
Yeah. So if you would like to join us at the Rio, there's actually a discount code on Matt's Facebook. So you can go to Matt Merritt's Facebook and check out the Rio website, plug in the code he's got on there, and you'll get discounted room rates for all of the rooms at the Rio. We're going to be there. They have a renovated tower. It's a renovated casino. They're doing a ton of work on this to make it a really special place, and we can't wait to be a part of that. But you can join us too, and at a discounted rate. So check that out on his Facebook, and I'll try to put it in the description of this video as well so you guys can find that easily. But moving on from these watch parties we've talked about, there are a lot of other ones that we know are happening. We may not know a lot of the details, but we want to list them here. So you'll find watch parties at the Virgin. The Orleans will have one in their Bourbon Street Lounge. Treasure Island in the Gillies Saloon. The MGM Grand has their Gold Buckle Zone, which is a really popular one as well. Silverton Casino is going to have one, and we mentioned some things earlier that you might want to check out there. The South Point has the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation viewing party in the South Point Convention Center. The Palms has a viewing party in Chaos and at Mabel's Barbecue. And I'm sure there are many others. If you go to the NFR Experience app, you can actually look up all of these. And if there's a hotel that you're staying at that we haven't mentioned, call them, check with them. They probably will be able to tell you if they're having one or not. But most hotels have one.
Yeah, and then you can also check the NFR Experience app. That is one we use as a hack all the time. You can literally check by location what's going on at every location listed. So if you're staying at a different hotel or you're looking for a specific watch party, check on the NFR Experience app. Yeah. Now, there's one more thing that we haven't talked about. What if you're not going to the NFR this year? How can you be involved?
Yeah. So if you want to watch it, but you're not going to be there, you got pretty much one option for that, and that would be the Cowboy Channel. So you can go online or you can download the app, the Cowboy Channel, and you'll be able to watch rodeos all year long. And then you can also sign up to get it where you can watch the NFR as well. So you can see all 10 rounds there. But if you're watching the rodeo on the Cowboy Channel from your house and you want to feel involved, there's a really good way to do that.
Yeah, and it's through Pro Fantasy Rodeo. Head over to profantasyrodeo.com, build a team. It's not easy. It is so much fun, though. You put some skin in the game, and you're going to build your own fantasy team of athletes participating in each of the events, and then you compete against each other.
Yeah, you can sign up for leagues. There's multiple leagues on there you can join. You can join our league. We're building our prize package right now, so we'll be releasing that information later on. But you can win tons of prizes. If you are really good at it and you win overall, you get your choice in Casey Jones' Cybertruck.
Yeah.
Or you can win a Ram 3500 with a horse trailer.
Yeah, so I mean, choices. Incredible prizes. I mean, it just puts skin in the game. It's so much fun to be a part of. You can compete against your friends. Mm-hmm. If you know us and follow us, you know we competed against each other last year. We put out a podcast on that and all over our Instagram. But we're going to be doing that again. So join us on Pro Fantasy Rodeo.
Yeah, we'll be doing another episode of this so we can cover who we're picking. We'll be doing our draft on our video, so you'll know who we're going with. But it works just like fantasy football. You get a salary cap. Each athlete has a price that you can purchase them for, and you have to stay within that salary cap. Build your team, compete against your friends. It really makes it feel like you're a part of the action with the NFR, no matter if you're sitting in Las Vegas in the Thomas & Mack or if you're sitting in East Tennessee in your own chair.
Awesome. So the rodeo has ended. What else do we do?
Well, there's a ton of stuff to do, but the thing that I enjoy the very most after the end of the rodeo is the concerts.
Yeah, the concerts. It's just incredible. All of these concerts are almost all of them, I should say, are free. And you just get to see so many artists honestly, we have a hard time picking because so many overlap. We're like, wait, who are we going to see each night? So we want to share with you some of the artists and where you can catch them.
Yeah, and Rachel mentioned earlier at the South Point, whenever you go to the buckle ceremony, stay for the concerts there because they've got a really great lineup there. But they're going to have Aaron Watson. They're going to have Randall King, Chancey Williams Band. They have some other people performing there too, but check the schedule and check out one of those while you're there. Make sure you do the buckle ceremony and the concert. That's the very best way to enjoy that evening. But beyond the South Point, there are some ticketed concerts that we
should mention those first. The Virgin's going to have people like Ryan Bingham, Charlie Crockett, Midland, and more. The Cosmo is going to have Ian Munsick. The MGM Grand is going to have Cody Johnson. The Park MGM is going to have Coulter Wall. The Fountain Blue is going to have Thomas Rhett and Brian Kelly. And you can even see George Strait in Allegiant Stadium.
Yeah, and we've done ticketed concerts in the past, but the problem with that is that we tend to overcommit and overbook ourselves.
We like to stay flexible in our evening times just because if we've got a group of friends that we don't normally get to hang out with and they're like, hey, let's all go to this concert, then we have the ability to do that. When we buy concert tickets, we're kind of stuck.
And we've done ticketed concerts in the past, but the problem for us is when we buy tickets to a concert, we feel like we're really locking ourselves into the whole evening being focused on just that one concert. So we like to stay a little more flexible than that most of the time. But if somebody does have George Strait tickets they want to give us, I mean, we'll make an exception, okay?
Listen, you know, 1 or 2 ticketed concerts is great during your time there, especially if it's an artist you're really looking to see. But for us, there's so many free concerts, and we don't mind to do 1 or 2 ticketed concerts, but we just overcommitted last year. I think we had 3 or 4 nights that we had ticketed concerts, and we were just like, whoa, this is too much. We actually ended up giving some away to a friend just because we just couldn't make it all work for the things we wanted to do. So just be aware of that. I mean, the FOMO is real and the overcommitment is definitely a real thing with NFR. So focus on those artists you want to see and be aware of the free concerts too. So let's talk about some of those free concerts.
Yeah, speaking of free concerts. So there are some of these artists that are new up-and-coming people. Some of these artists have been around forever and just are staple signature NFR artist, and 2 of those guys will be performing at the Silverton, which is out kind of near the South Point. Yep. But that is Ned Ledoux and Josh Ward. Those guys just scream NFR.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, those are ones that it just feels right when you see them in Vegas. Another one to mention is the Rio Roundup after Matt Merritt's watch party. We love that so much. They've got some live performances happening as well. We'll be sure to detail those when we have the actual information to share for you guys.
Yep. And then moving on from the Rio to the OG after party, the OG concert. When you think of this name, you think of NFR in Vegas, and that's the Rodeo Vegas party. They have some of the best lineups you'll ever see every single night of every single NFR year.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, literally the best of the best, absolutely first class. You're going to see guys like Wade Bowen, Easton Corbin, Gavin Adcock, who is really gaining popularity this year, Casey Donahue, and so much more. I'm really upset about Casey for us.
Yeah, we're going to be gone before he performs, and Casey's one of those that it just doesn't feel like the NFR until we've seen Casey Donahue play.
I know. So anyway, if you are there the last weekend, you absolutely need to go to Rodeo Vegas and see Casey Donahue Band.
Yeah, and just like their watch party, this year it's going to be moved into the Zouk nightclub. So they'll have all of these concerts and more that we just mentioned in the Zouk nightclub after their watch party, but then they're also going to have a second round of concerts.
They're going to have some late night entertainment beyond their concerts. We're going to pop up a graphic for you guys to see, so that if you are interested in any of that, be sure to add it to your schedule. You can go to Rodeo Vegas for the whole night and watch the rodeo with the watch party, stay with the concerts, and get your nightlife in with the late night entertainment all in one setting.
Yeah. So moving on from the Resorts World Rodeo Vegas parties, we'll go to the Westgate Resorts. Now, we're talking about stacked lineups. Westgate is one of those places with the stacked lineup.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe their concert lineup, and it's totally free, and they always have multiple stages happening all concurrently. I mean, the Westgate is like one of the greatest places to catch concerts.
Yeah, they're going to have some of the best people that you would never think would be a free show.
Yes.
But they're going to have Tyler Halverson, Cor Blund, Carson Jeffrey, Hudson Westbrook, and Braxton Keith are performing just like Casey Donahue after we leave, so we won't be able to see them, but they were definitely on my list, and I really hate it that we won't be able to see them. But the Westgate concerts, super spacious venue.
Yes.
Tons of people are going to be there, but
Yes.
you're not going to feel crowded. It's going to be a lot of fun. The crowd and the vibe at the Westgate is just really solid. Like we mentioned earlier, a lot of the folks at the Westgate are workers and people who have booths and vendors and stuff. So they're people like you and me, and you'll be able to hang out with them and get along, and it'll be a great time for everybody.
Yeah, you can probably catch us at the Westgate to see Tyler Halverson, Cor Blund, maybe Carson Jeffrey. But like Jordan said, I'm bummed about missing Braxton Keith. If you are there the last day, Saturday, please go see them. They are going to be there, and it's totally free.
Yeah.
You can't beat it.
Yeah, and if you're like us, we live in East Tennessee. A lot of these people are Texas-based or West Coast-based, and we don't get to see them a lot, even ticketed, much less free. So when you go to Vegas, be sure to plan on hitting up these concerts. This is going to be the thing to do after the rodeo performance is over, and you won't regret it. You can go to any one of them, and it's going to be a good time. That's the fact.
Oh, no doubt. And I want to mention this too, because this is something that came up on my Instagram, a conversation that NFR is not just for your die-hard rodeo fans. Yes, it's a Super Bowl of rodeo, and there's so much rodeo things happening. But if you're a country music fan, if you're even a little bit interested in rodeo, the NFR is something for you, because all of these concerts are free. That's worth the trip in itself.
That's true. And we've had friends, like you said, go in the past with us that had never been to rodeos before. They'd never even had cowboy boots. So it's a great place to introduce people to it, because there's so many things to do that is probably going to pique someone's interest somewhere throughout the day. So don't fear bringing friends along with you that have never been before. They may not want to come for the whole time like we do, but they're going to enjoy a day or two there for sure.
Oh, for sure. And there's also all of the normal Vegas things happening. If you don't want to do the rodeo or you don't want to do the concerts, there's also all of the normal Vegas shows and things like that. So really, you're going to please anyone no matter what you've got going on.
Yeah. So if we didn't mention something you were interested in here, or if there's concerts you're interested in hearing about that you didn't hear about here, like we said before, the NFR Experience app is going to be pretty much your guide to anything going on. It's going to be the most update way to find out this information, but we're also going to share all of the flyers for these concerts, the watch parties, and everything we've mentioned on our Instagram. So if you go to the Southeastern Cowboy Network Instagram, you'll find all of these flyers, and we'll be updating those as we go. So when we find out more information on lineups, times, watch parties, or events, we'll share that on there as well, so you guys can stay up to date and watch that. But we'll also talk about that in later videos.
Yep, we're also planning to do a NFR tips and tricks episode here on YouTube, and we're going to do a lot of updates wrapped into that since it's getting closer to rodeo time. This is something that kind of happens every single year that, yeah, we know NFR is happening the same week every year in December, but people are still trying to work out contracts of music artists or who's going to be hosting their watch parties or things like that. So new information is always coming out, but yeah.
Yep. So if you want to keep up with us, you can go to our Instagram, like I said, and we'll have those things there. But the best way would be to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and that way you don't miss any of our updates, any of our videos, and we'll be covering those. We'll be doing our tips, tricks, and updates video. We'll also be doing our Pro Fantasy Draft between the two of us.
Very
so
exciting.
You guys can see how good or how bad we are at picking for Pro Fantasy Rodeo. But no matter what, it's a ton of fun, and just be sure to subscribe. And if you don't mind, you can even comment below, tell us what you want to hear us talk about, and share this with friends so you can help us grow. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Share it with a friend. This is the whole reason we started doing these videos. We've been planning this for a really long time, but it's something we wish that we had. There's so many Vegas vloggers out there, but there's no one really sharing NFR specific information, and it changes every single year. So we hope that you're enjoying these and finding value in them.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.